Hello, I'm David, and this is a short presentation about the Jagged Globe expedition to Khosar Gang this coming summer 2024. The images I'm about to show you were all taken by myself during the 2022 expedition, and these, along with a full written itinerary, are on the Jagged Globe website. But I think by giving a bit more explanation about the pictures, I can perhaps impart a little more information. I'll come back to this picture again. Khosar Gang is the highest peak in the Shigar area, just north of Skardu. And anyone that knows of Skardu will know it's where you set off from to go to the large peaks of the Baltoro Glacier, K2 and the other 8,000 meter peaks. You drive up the Shigar Valley past Khosar Gang on the way to the Baltoro. This can be offered as a 2-week, 16-day expedition because the approach to base camp is so simple. This shot is taken from just outside Skardu, showing how close the mountain is to the city. And because we can get there by road, the whole travel to and from the mountain doesn't take so many days and leaves plenty of time for the climbing. This is a shot from the northern end of the Shigar Valley, looking back at the peak, and taken together, you can trace the route on all these photographs. But a fairly long hike from the road head up to a comfortable base camp, and then 2 camps on the mountain. The first one on this ridge, second one further along the ridge, and then summit day is up the snow. That can be seen a little more clearly on this picture. You can see it's grassy down here. So camp is located quite close to the foot of this glacier. And then the climb to the first camp, the first half is on the grass, second half gets a little more rocky, and we go up to join this ridge. And then walking away from where the shot's taken takes us to Camp 2. And depending how good your computer screen is, if you look very carefully, you can actually see there's a faint trail up here. That's a track made by climbers heading from Camp 2. The steepest section where fixed rope is placed comes up here, and then it's not quite so steep moving on to the summit. A very pleasant base campsite, roughly 4,000 meters. Tent for everyone, mess tent, kitchen tent, store, toilet, space for the staff. And a shot of the 2022 team, mix of ages, men and women, inside the mess tent at base camp. Another shot from base camp showing how close we are to the edge of this glacier, which is actually where we get our water supply from. And then you can pretty much make out the summit up here. The hike from base camp up to Camp 1, fairly long, time-wise, not far in distance. It's quite steep. First half is entirely in grass, and then higher up, it gets a little rocky. An excellent location for Camp 1 on this ridge, 4,800 meters, roughly same height as the summit of Mont Blanc. And we're looking down here at the broad Shigar Valley below. Several birds of prey in evidence flying around. I was able to get this photograph while sitting in Camp 1. The route to Camp 2 is a little more difficult ground choice. Some people wearing helmets, some not. There are some loose stones on this section. And then once we're up past the steepest bit, the track is fairly straightforward along this ridge, and the tents are going to be located just up here, close to the start of the snow. So Camp 2, just over 5,000 meters, 5,200. Again, looking across the Shigar Valley, we can see the villages on the far side. Plenty of space to pitch the tents here. no objective danger, and a good view of the snow and ice, glaciers and mountains on the far side of the valley. Using a zoom lens, it's possible to get close-ups of some of the surrounding peaks. This Haramosh, 7,400 meters, which you also get good views from when climbing Spantic. We start climbing in the dark. I haven't shown any of these pictures. They're not so interesting. Up a fairly steep section with fixed ropes takes in about 2/3, maybe 70–75% of the ascent, and then the ground becomes quite a bit gentler final section up to the summit. The weather had been clear through most of this expedition, but on summit day there were just a few. It was clear enough to see where we were going, but a few clouds bubbling up stopped us getting excellent views into the distance. Whole team fairly close together using the fixed ropes. And then everybody on the summit, just over 6,000 meters. One of the few proper climbing peaks of 6,000 meters that can be done in 2 weeks from the UK. I know in South America there are some high rocky summits that it's possible to hike to from quite high road heads, but this is what I'd say a proper classic type of mountaineering expedition with a base camp, several camps, and then a snow and ice climb to the summit, which can be done in 2 weeks from the UK. We did that last time in the month of August, and we did find the upper slopes a little icy. And so the hope is that by going the next expedition, by going in June, the snow should be a bit softer and make the climbing from the top camp 2 to the summit a bit more straightforward. So all these pictures are individually on the Jagged Globe website, as is the full written itinerary. If you want any more information, either contact the office or get in touch with myself directly. And thank you for watching this presentation about next summer's Khosar Gang expedition.